Shabbat Shalom. On Saturday morning, we woke to miraculous news. 4 of the Israeli hostages were brought safely back home to Israel. I could hardly find the words to respond. I was so relieved that our tradition has a script for just such a moment. It's not one of the special rare experiences blessings, like the ones for seeing a rainbow or meeting a member of the royalty. It's a blessing we recite daily. It's part of the litany of blessings for the miracles of our daily lives. Nisim b'chol yom. On Shabbat, if you're with us in Lefkowitz Chapel, we chant them antiphonally back and forth in Hebrew, and we may not pay close attention to the literal meaning of the words. And our Siddur provides down the margin a metaphoric interpretation of the blessings. But on this Shabbat, no metaphor was needed. We were all witnesses to this mitzvah of Pidyon Shavuyim, redeeming captives, the one we've prayed for months now. And while we've had almost a week to reflect on the courage and the skill of the Israeli soldiers involved in planning the rescue and in implementing the rescue, to weep at the reunions of parents and children, to hear the harrowing stories of Almog and Noah and Andre and Shlomi, and to see Israel villainized for rescuing its hostages taken by Hamas terrorists. And so we need to bless. So take a breath. Focus on this miracle that we've been witness to. And then I invite you to join me in the Hebrew and then the English. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Blessed are you, Adonai, sovereign of the universe, who frees the captives. Lily Donald is the daughter of our members, Esther and Mark. She's 23, and she moved to Israel in January after graduating from Tulane. Shout out, Rabbi Lewis. She went to go to graduate school and to work and to live her life in Tel Aviv, and to be fully honest, to nurture her relationship with her boyfriend Yair and his family. On Saturday morning, I was without words, but Lily was not. Listen to what she texted me. I'm so emotional at every family reunion video I've seen. It's so touching to see and so heartbreaking to think of what they and their families went through every day for the last 8 months. I think the hostage return was such a glimmer of hope this weekend for everyone. This is Lily and Yair in February, when I was on the Federation's Solidarity Mission. Lily and I were back and forth the whole time I was there, getting ready for this moment on WhatsApp, trying to figure out when and where we could rendezvous for a hug. Now, this wasn't going to be just any ordinary hug. Yes, of course, it was a delivery of hugs from her parents here in Dallas, but there was more to it. I've known Lily since before she was born. I blessed Lily when her parents entered her into the covenant as a baby, and again when she became a bat mitzvah, and when she celebrated confirmation, all here at Temple Emanu-El. Meeting for this hug felt like it was an extension of that priestly blessing that I'd bestowed before, the blessing that comes from this week's Torah portion. It's a prayer for God's light to shine on her path. It would be a prayer for the state of Israel to be basking in that light, and that all its people, that it would shine on the soldiers at war and on the hostages in Gaza. I don't think you can tell or that you can guess where we are when you look at this photo. But we'll show you the next one, and I think you'll know. This is the edge of Hostage Square in Tel Aviv. It was a seemingly impossible juxtaposition. Here were Yair and Lily, so in love, so proud to be living in Israel at this time in history, standing tall with their heads high, surrounded every day by so much pain and challenge. It was such a comfort to me to see them. For the sun to shine on their faces was like the blessing promises. It was like God's light shining upon them. And in that moment, it felt like they were the ones bringing the blessing. This hug was an important reminder of the power of blessings to connect us. It was an encounter with the promise of this week's Torah portion. Compassion, light, shalom, unity, and peace are available for us, for all Israel, for all the world. On that day 3 months ago, we were blessed by the light of this week's Torah portion and also inspired by it without even knowing it at the time. The Torah portion this week, Naso, instructs Moses to count the Israelites. And the text uses an unusual term to indicate the numbering. Naso et Rosh, lift up the heads of the children of Israel. So imagine Moses lifting up the chin of each Israelite. Imagine Moses helping them to stand more erect when they're broken in grief, and urging them to hold their heads high in the face of daunting challenges, raising their gaze up from the ground beneath their feet to see the horizon of possibilities ahead. The Ishbitzer Rabbi teaches that this phrase is not only about the physical stature of the Israelites, but about their spiritual position as well. He reminds us that one of the groups of leaders that are counted up in this portion, the sons of Kohat, are counted, and then they're assigned to carry the most sacred elements of the ark, not in carts with oxen like the other sacred objects, but actually on their shoulders. And he writes, they achieved this spiritual state to do their task, hitnasut, which is a reflexive form of this word naso, by embracing situations of doubt and uncertainty. Surely they felt they could not carry these heavy sacred objects on their backs alone. In other words, he writes, from the act of carrying on their shoulders, we learn they reached the state of patience necessary to enter into and cope with places of uncertainty. What a great teaching for any time and anyone, but especially for the families of the hostages during these 251 days. This is Aviram holding a poster with a picture of his nephew, Almog Meir John, one of the 4 Israelis redeemed by the IDF on Saturday. We met with Aviram at the Hostages and Missing Families Forum shortly before we met Lily and Yair for the hug. He told us, I knew Almog was at the Nova Festival. He had gone to celebrate the start of summer and his new job. From the moment I heard my dramatically friendly 21-year-old nephew, who always made sure everything looked good, was kidnapped by Hamas at the Nova Festival, I couldn't work. I started coming every day to this building to advocate for the release of all the hostages, to take care of other families, and most importantly, to tell the story of my nephew. I see my work, he said, on the hostage matter as a tikkun, a way to repair Israeli society, the internal rift between right and left. We need to fix what happened here, so we will have another 40 or 80 years of one safe boundary for our country. His words echo still in my mind and rise from my notes. It's as if he channeled the Izbitzer Rebbe. He concluded, "This building is for me, as it is for many others, a place where together we can be in a place of uncertainty and hold onto hope with patience." Later in the week, Almog's family and friends painted this mural on one of the walls of downtown Tel Aviv. Our fellow traveler and temple member Jennifer Troyce was there to help. She's right smack in the middle of the picture. It's only one of the murals and the thousands of posters that fill walls all over Israel. And Aviram is only one example of the friends and family members who have stopped their lives to do this sacred work of redemption, to bring tikkun. They have found a way somehow, in the face of fear and rage and pain, to be counted upon, to lift their heads and to stand upright, and to somehow have the patience, while carrying a huge weight on their shoulders and in their hearts, to be in and cope with such uncertainty. Yeah. For Almog's family, the practice of patience bore the fruit of his redemption. But the work, it's not done. There are still more than 100 hostages being held by Hamas. The brutal war in the neighborhoods of Gaza continues with impossible suffering. There is so much healing to be done by those who were held in captivity and by those who wait for their return. The patience of family members and international politicians alike is turning to impatience. So perhaps the timing of the Torah portion is exactly right for all of us, with its powerful reminder to raise our heads and make sure Israel and the hostages know that we can be counted upon to support them, to rise to the challenges on our hearts with action, with patience and hope, and of course, with prayer. We'll conclude together. Our family, the whole house of Israel, who are in distress or in captivity, who stand either on the sea or on dry land, may the Omnipresent have mercy on them and take them out from trouble to blessing and from darkness to light and from oppression to redemption, now, swiftly, and soon. Amen. Shabbat shalom.